Jana Vallabha Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Let's give a bigger round of applause to somehow or other, he keeps Columbus in his heart. Sometimes twice a year he comes. So we're really, really grateful. And then who are ready for part 2 today?
Hariva.
Today is in part 1, Kamarajya, discussion today afternoon at the temple. This is a mind one. Who asked me, how was the class? That's it.
You know, when somebody says that I'll have to hear a class 2 more times, 5 years ago, I would have thought it flattering. Now I think it is worrying.
So nice. I want it.
It's not on. Turn it on.
Yeah, it's so nice. And then I was planning to hear 2 more times, so I was going to because I need to get them. So there is a new people I see here. This first time as anybody, please raise your hand. You come for the first time. Hari Prabhu, you're not the first time. And Kishko's parents. No, not his parents. Thank you, welcome to you. So a little introduction about Prabhu. Yeah, you also here for first time. What's your name? Komal, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. So little brief bio about Prabhu. Most of the devotees doesn't need introduction, but however, there are some new people I would like to introduce. Prabhu has been practicing Bhakti Yoga almost more than 2 decades. And then initially, he was planning to get into the IT. He got a job in Masters here, but he has a calling from within. He wanted to do something for humanity. So he thought, what is the best thing what he can do is sharing the spirituality. So most of us, when growing up, so we played the toys. I'll talk louder. Yeah, I'll talk louder. So we all played the toys. You know what did he do? He started memorizing the lives of dictionary. He started memorizing as a child a dictionary. That was his passion. So he's very intelligent, and then he's author of 25 plus books. He traveled around the world. He inspired. Sorry, because I will see Rasananda Mataji. Sorry. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Class. They are Prabhupada disciples. We are all here because of their sacrifice. We should never ever forget their contribution. He's the author of 25 books, more than he's still writing. And he's a mentor for so many people around the world, including myself, I follow very closely. He has 2 websites, thespiritualsciences.com and also gitadaily.com. He published 300 words every day, reflections from Gita, past 12 to 13 years. It's been widely popular among the world. And then he also has in his website, if you see, thespiritualsciences.com, the many questions he addressed around the world. There's more than 10,000 last time I heard, and it could be more now. So without any further delay, so we were very fortunate. Today's topic is pure devotion and practical application. So now, having said that, now let's give him one more round of applause for Prabhu. Enthusiasm. Yeah. So enthusiasm is a key. Okay. Thank you very much. And then now, one more thing. Premdas Prabhu is going to speak about the new temple.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devotees asked me to give the good news. We're starting the temple next week now.
Hare
The site work is all done. Just a quick update. The site work is all done. Devotees are working hard to bring the building in budget. So those discussions are going on. Permit will have to be resubmitted because making some changes. But in first week of May, yes, Chandra Prabhu? First week of May, the building will start going up.
Hare
Tremendous work has been done. The exercise is right now to fit the project and the budget together. And that's the exercise which is been going on right now. And so we're revising some designs, revising some plans. We are on target to get the occupancy permit in July, August 2025. This is all your hard work, all your support, everybody's. And I do want to welcome Ashok and Rasa officially here. Haribol. Our Kamagiri Madhvacharya too. Thank you. I don't know if you know Satish and Kalpana in the back. Satish and Kalpana, Satish, can you please raise your hand? They have been champions of New Vrindavan from the day it was started. Satish and Kalpana have quietly played a very important role in our temple here too. Couple of other announcements. Lal Govind Prabhu's Katha. Devotees, let's make it a big one. Next 2 years are very critical for our fundraising as well. And advertising and building this huge groundswell of support in Columbus for our temple and involvement. So Lal Govind Prabhu's Katha, devotees are also planning to take Lal Govind Prabhu and all of us to the land with Lal Govind Prabhu. Okay, that will be the last week of April. So that's coming up. Let's invite anybody who can understand Hindi or Gujarati. That will be the Katha. And our cow protection program is starting. We have a bull Arjuna. Next month we are getting 2 small cows. Brian and Charuta are putting a lot of energy in getting the composting program going. Although it's a small beginning, let's support them. Let's give them a big round of applause. Let's One of Brian's friend studied at.
I don't know who that is.
Brian.
Are they here?
Brian is one. Charuta is here.
Charuta Madan is here, but Brian is not here.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes on Thursday evenings generally. You may have seen him.
He was in the temple today.
One of Brian's friends did a project for the Hare Krishna land with the University of Oregon to develop a farm plan. And that was his graduation thesis. So that was developed with the University of Oregon, and he did a presentation to us, and we'll share it with all of you very soon. Okay? So devotees, there is a lot of thought being going around right now. Bhavagrahi Prabhu is putting a lot of thought about how we can get our restaurant operational on day 1. Ravi, Bhavagrahi Prabhu, devotees are putting a lot of thought together how we can get our gift shop operational on day 1. Our idea is not to always just put our hand out and ask you for money. Our idea is that this temple should be self-sufficient. With everything we have and all the land we have and all the resources, and of course Govinda restaurant and gift shop is the big income for us on day 1. But devotees are having meetings almost every week to see what are the things we can do to generate income in this temple. So Krishna consciousness in Central Ohio, we hope with the blessings of all of you, will continue to grow by leaps and bounds here.
Amazing level of faith. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
No. Acha.
అక్కడ వస్తుంది
Yes, louder.
మేము ఎట్లా క్యాప్చర్ చేయాలి
Hare. No.
Yeah.
Lot of updates. Amazing work. Oh, yeah. तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Which one? Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. It's not consistent, no? Okay, is it better now? Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama I think it's okay. It's steady. Hare Krishna. Am I audible behind? What is that? Hare Krishna. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, still the echo is there.
Yeah.
If it is okay, I'll try, otherwise we can just use that mic then. It's okay? Okay. Thank you very much for coming today, and delighted to be here with all of you. And I'll speak today in the afternoon I spoke on the theme of Ramayana and how the Ramayana and the idea of Ram Rajya. Okay, how many of you were not there in the morning session? So I don't want to. Okay, that's a substantial number. So I'm not going to repeat the class and bore everyone else. But I'm going to bore everyone. But in a different way. So the theme we're discussing is that how bhakti is built on the culmination of dharma. That there is concern for maintaining order in this world, and there is also concern for attaining the other world. When Krishna descends to this world, the divine descent, see, Krishna is here, the spiritual level and the material level. So Krishna's descent from the spiritual level to the material level, at one level it is to restore order over here. But at another level, it is also the divine descent is meant to inspire the human ascent, the rising of the human consciousness toward the Lord. So both these purposes are there. And these two purposes, in one sense, correspond to two aspects of bhakti. If a devotee is here in the material world trying to practice bhakti, then one aspect of bhakti is we try to rise to the spiritual world. We attain the spiritual world. That's definitely important. And we understand this, that here there is the Lord. Krishna, Ram, the divine exists over here. And we practice bhakti to attain Krishna. But at the same time, we understand that Krishna doesn't exist only in the spiritual world. Krishna actually pervades all of existence. Krishna is present even in the material world also. Yataha. In Krishna says 1846, 47, 48, Yataha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam datam. from whom the whole world has emanated and by whom the whole world is pervaded. So that means Krishna is present even in this world, and therefore bhakti also involves serving Krishna here. So bhakti is about attaining Krishna in the spiritual world, but it's also about serving him over here. And both these aspects of bhakti have their importance. So this is the aspect of bhakti which we could call more as world transcending aspect, where the focus is more on this world, we want to go beyond this world. The world transcending aspect of bhakti is there. And here it is more of world transforming. That. While on one level we say this world is a place of distress and we wish to leave this world and attain Krishna's world. But another level, Krishna cares for this world also. And yes, it is a place of distress, but the distress can be either maximized or minimized. And the idea is we try to minimize the distress as possible for ourselves and for others. So, in bhakti, both these aspects play important roles. At different times, in different places, different aspects may be emphasized. So, for example, in the 12th chapter, in 12.8 and 9, first Krishna is speaking about these aspects. Just fix your mind on me and live in me. If you can't do that, then try to fix your mind on me. Practice sadhana bhakti. But this says, if you can't do that, then you work for me in this world. If you can't do that, then you work for some higher cause. So and Krishna says, all of these are included as levels of bhakti. And once this dual aspect of bhakti is understood, is world transforming and world transcending. Another way of looking at this is the first aspect is more of immersive bhakti, where we turn away from the world and immerse ourselves in Krishna. And this is more of inclusive bhakti, where we turn toward Krishna in this world, not away from this world, but we serve Krishna in this world. So, the Bhagavad Gita's overall mood of bhakti is more of inclusive bhakti. Arjuna wants to turn away from the world and renounce the world. Krishna tells him, you stay in this world and fight. The Bhagavatam's mood of bhakti is more of immersive bhakti. Parikshit Maharaj has already accepted that I've been cursed and I'm going to die. And I accept that curse. So now, let me turn away from the world and just focus myself in Krishna. So both are valid, both are valuable, both are potent at different time, place, circumstance. So now if we come to Hanuman. Okay, thoda aur dur. Is this better now? But it's you're not able to hear. You can hear behind? Still? Okay. Okay, is this okay? Still? Okay. Thank you for not transcending. Thank you for transforming. Okay. Now, Hanuman is symbolized on one side with folded hands and other side with a mace in his hand. So, the folded hands is about transcending the world. But the mace is for transforming the world. So, in his very iconic symbolism, both these aspects are there. So, generally when we fold the hands, it's more a mood of acceptance. Okay, whatever is happening, I accept it with folded hands. Tattenu kampam susamikshimano. As it said, my dear Lord, whatever is happening, I accept it. But on the other side, yes, there is accepting what is happening. But there is also, whatever is happening around us is God's will, and we accept it. But God's will is not just happening around us. God's will is also meant to be acting through us. And if God's will is to happen through us, then we have to accept the responsibility to do God's will. So in one sense, world transcending means, okay, Krishna, whatever happens, I accept it. That's the world transcending. I just remember you and I tolerate it. I go beyond it. But then if Krishna wants me to do something, then I should be ready to do that. So both are there. So God's will is happening around us and it is happening through us. So here it's more of acceptance. When it's happening around us, we accept that it is happening. But when it is to happen through us, it's more of acceptance, but it's more of acceptance of responsibility. This is what is happening, this is what I am going to do. So, in different situations, different aspects are more emphasized. So, for example, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, the emphasis is more on Krishna is not just saying that, okay, this is Dharma Yuddha and I am going to win it. He says, I want you to win it for me. And therefore, Arjuna says, Karishye vachinam tava. I will do your will. Now in the Bhagavatam, the mood is, okay, this is what Krishna you want to do with me, I accept it. Now we'll see both these aspects of bhakti. The pure devotional aspect is that we are connected with Krishna always. But the practical application aspect of bhakti is, okay, how can I best serve Krishna right now? Sometimes it is just by accepting, this is how things are happening, I can't change it, so I'll accept it. But sometimes it is, okay, I have the responsibility to change it. So if we consider the journey of Hanuman, there are many adventures that happen. This comes in the Sundarkand. So recently one American friend of mine showed me, this is the general conception in the mainstream of America about India. So there is an American who is asking an Indian, why do you people worship so many gods? And the Indian says, we like to have backups. Now, this is not the actual philosophical reason, but the idea is that, okay, when God does not fulfill, I got another God. So, this explanation comes to some extent from the idea of impersonalism. See, if I have data backup, I have no interest in just in this hard disk or that hard disk or that hard disk. I am only interested in the data. From wherever the data comes through, that is good enough. But if the mood with God is like that, okay, whether it is this deity or this deity, this form or that form, it doesn't matter. As long as my desire is fulfilled, my need is addressed, that's all I am concerned about. So this, in one sense, it's worship that makes God, the specifics of God irrelevant. That's the essence of impersonalism. Impersonalism is who you are doesn't matter at all, as long as you give me what I want. Now this is not at all the mood of pure devotion. Pure devotion means it's not just what God is doing, how God is blessing us or what God is doing to us. It's we are interested in the person. So without that pure devotion, see, why I brought this point is that sometimes we accept God's will, this is happening, so I accept it. Sometimes it is, I accept the responsibility to God's will. I try to change the situation. So both of these are valid. But which one do I want to do? Which one should I be doing? So that this decision is made primarily by our connection with Krishna. If I don't have a connection with the Lord, then whatever strikes my fancy, I'll do it. Today I like this. This situation is very difficult. I don't want to take the trouble to change it. So I'll just say this is God's will. Okay, I'm studying for an exam and I find the subject very boring. I say it's God's will that I don't study for this exam. Well, no, it's our laziness is not God's will. Mate sangostu akarmani. Don't be attached to not doing your work, Krishna says. So the point is that when the focus is on Lord Ram, on the Lord, then we get the dadami buddhi yogam tam. When to accept that this is how it is, and when to try to change it. So we see this dynamic in Hanuman's journey in Lanka also. So when he comes to Lanka, it's an extremely heroic act. When they start off, they're all going as a group. But eventually Hanuman has to leap all alone to Lanka. And then he leaps across, he gets inside, and then he's searching. There, it's a huge city, it's a big palace. So Hanuman has 3 challenges at that time. First is to stay undetected. It is a heavily fortified city, and to just stay undetected, creep in and move around, that's difficult. Then second is, while staying undetected, he has to also find Sita, which is also difficult, because Sita is what in today's language you would call a high profile prisoner. You know. So she is a person, wherever she is, she's not going to be in some corner somewhere. She's going to be surrounded by people. So if somebody wants to stay undetected, they will go and be in the secluded parts. But you have to stay undetected and go to a place which is going to be like a maximum vigilance, maximum security kind of place. That itself is difficult. A third thing for him is, after that, he has to win the trust of Sita. Because he and Sita have never met. And this is a dangerous place. Will Sita trust him? Now, each of these is an obstacle that he encounters and he overcomes. Now, after overcoming all these obstacles, he finds Sita, he wins her trust, he speaks the glories of Lord Ram, and slowly he earns her trust, and then they have a talk. And here, Hanuman could have said, my mission is complete now. Now, let me go back. At that time, Sita says something which just changes Hanuman's mind. He says that, please tell Ram to come soon. Because Ravana has said that, told me that I am going to enjoy you either one way or the other. If you don't give yourself to me, then I'll devour you. So, he says there's only 1 month remaining for that now. Something like that, 1 month. So the exact sometimes dates vary in different places, but overall. So then Hanuman says, I'll take you back. And she says that Hanuman, sometimes what happens is some people, they may put on a appearance, a mask, a garb, but they forget that they are in that mask. So then what happens? So Sita says, you are a tiny monkey. She says polite. She says, I am much larger than you. How will you? Say, I'll carry you. How will you carry me? How will you carry me? So Hanuman, he's after all a warrior. So no warrior likes to have his strength challenge. He says, you think I'm small? And then he just right in front of her, he starts increasing his size. And then Sita is looking down at him and suddenly starts looking up at him. His eye up. And at that time, he says, okay, yes. you are quite fit to carry me, but he says that, you won't just have to carry me alone. The demons will attack and you'll have to also fight against them. And he says that Ravan has abducted me also because he wanted to dishonor Ram. So let him come and rescue me. So Hanuman decides that he wants to do some extra service. So at this point, he is in the forest. So till this point, he has largely been undetected. And although he is talking with Sita, what has happened is the first Ravan had come before that, and Ravan had threatened Sita, and then the she demons came and they tried to threaten him. They were her guards, and then they went a little distance away. So when Hanuman came just as a small monkey. So even if the guards saw from a distance, they said, okay, what is she doing? She has nothing to do over here. She's just playing with a monkey or something like that. They didn't pay much attention. So till now, Hanuman had maintained a low profile. But now, for a person who wants to be undetected, he actually did the opposite. He started becoming very disruptive. He started disrupting Ravan's Ashok Vatika. And that is like exactly he's trying to, it's almost like he wants attention. And then after some time Ravan gets the news that his Ashok Vatika has become Shok Vatika. Everything is destroyed. So who dare do that? Did the gods dare come over here? Which among the gods had the audacity? He says, no, it's just a monkey. He says, what kind of monkey is this? He sends one by one various regiments of his army, and none of them are able to arrest him. Now, many of these demons, they are often driven by ego. And because of that, they do certain things which work to their disadvantage. Like we know in Krishna Lila, Kamsa, he knew that Devaki's 8th son would be the cause of his death. So often people ask this question that, if he knew that, he could just have kept Devaki and Vasudeva in separate cells. Isn't it? Why did he not do that? So his mentality is described in Gopal Champu. His thinking is, I have already defeated the Devatas. Now, if I can falsify their words, if I can prove that their words are false, then people will lose all faith in the Devatas. And then my power will become completely unchallenged. So his idea is, let the 8th child be born and then I'll kill him. So that is his arrogance over there. So similarly, later on when the war happens, Ravan has the home advantage. The war is happening in Lanka. And generally this home advantage, that means you have all the resources at your disposal because it's a home territory. Anybody is attacking, they bring whatever resources they can over the entire journey. And yet, Ravan, throughout the war in Ramayana, he never at one time brings out his entire army. First he sends Atikaya or Mahaprashva and this demon and that demon, he sends Indrajit, he sends Kumbhakarna. He never once brings his entire army out. And I say, why? You have your full army, you have home advantage, but till the end, Ravan can't just accept that this enemy can actually challenge me. So he believes just one of my generals is enough to destroy him. Although one by one, each one of his generals is being destroyed. But still that arrogance becomes his undoing. So, anyway, he does something similar over here. He sends one group to Hanuman, another group to Hanuman, third group to Hanuman. And Hanuman overcomes all of them. And finally, he sends Indrajit. Now, Indrajit is a son, extremely powerful. So Indrajit tries various things and he's just not able to catch Hanuman. And then Indrajit decides that I have to take emergency action. So he uses the Brahmastra. And with that Brahmastra, he immobilizes and arrests Hanuman. Now Hanuman has a blessing that the Brahmastra will act on him, but it will act only temporarily. So he lets himself be arrested. Of course, you could say he is arrested, but he doesn't get very agitated by it. He accepts what has happened, and then after that, he is brought in. Now, this is a very terrible situation to be in. To be in enemy territory, to have done something disruptive, and then to be arrested. So, when this happened, India had some diplomats in Pakistan who were framed of being spies. It happened in the Middle East countries, Yemen or one of the Middle East, Qatar or somewhere. So the whole government machinery was there to try to have them rescued. So here Hanuman is all alone, and he also knows that none of the other Vanaras can come to rescue him. He has been arrested. And then, now from Ravana's perspective, and from Indrajit's perspective, Indrajit is also part of the same power structure. This is also a matter of optics. Like somebody has come into our kingdom and has disrupted our kingdom. So Indrajit decides that I want to show publicly to everyone that we have defeated this upstart. We have got this upstart under control. So instead of just putting him in his chariot and just taking him straight to Ravan, he has him tied and dragged through the streets. And when he's being dragged through the streets, the demons are mocking him, insulting him, kicking him, and they just want to make him an example. This is what happens if you try to go against Ravan. Hanuman is also a warrior, and it's humiliating for him, but he tolerates it. So it is not that when, say, great devotees are acting in the mood of service to the Lord, they may be completely surrendered, but it's not necessary that they have like a special hotline with Krishna. Okay, now you do this, then this is going to happen. Now you do this, this is going to happen. It's not like that. They use their intelligence and they see what is the best way we can serve. So Hanuman, he is now trapped, he is being humiliated, and still, he just maintains his calm. And they are parading him through the whole city. For them, they have their agenda. We want to humiliate him. But a devotee, they said that Kunti Maharani suggests that the Ganga always flows toward the ocean. A devotee's consciousness always flows toward the Lord. So, if a devotee is always is too much concerned about the ego, why is this happening to me? How dare these people do like this? Then that's what consumes the consciousness. But Hanuman is always looking for an opportunity to serve. So for him, as he's being paraded through the cities of Lanka, they are just giving an opportunity for him to see all the military and defense arrangements of Lanka. So when he goes back, just before the war happens, Hanuman tells it, this is where this is where it is. And later on, they actually make when Indrajit thinks that I have killed Ram and Lakshman, and Indrajit goes back and becomes victorious. Thinks we are victorious. So Ram and Lakshman are revived by Hanuman's arrangement. He gets the Sanjeevani booty. And then after that, they launch a surprise attack. And in that attack, they jump over the wall and they go inside, and Hanuman leads that attack. Because he knows what is where. So even while he is being humiliated, if the focus is too much, I'm being humiliated, then we miss out. Even in that situation, there may be an opportunity to be of some service, to learn something. So Hanuman is okay. This is what is happening. Is accepting, but what is there? Like, how can I serve the Lord? And finally, he is brought into Ravan's court. And now, Ravan is on one side infuriated, but on the other side, he's also intrigued. Who is this person? How dare this person have such guts? So, it's like Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, by whose strength are you defying me? So, now in that case, Prahlad is such a small child, and Hiranyakashipu is, you cannot be so powerful, there must be someone behind you. So same way, you are just a monkey. And who is behind you? Now Ravan has gone on a tour of the universe. It's not a tour. It's a tour that tore apart the universe. He was destroying everything. But, so he knows, in one sense, the who's who of the universe. He knows who are the big warriors. And he says, who are you? Where have you come from? That's what he wants to know. So because he wants to know this, so he decides to question. And he asks his commander to question him. And then Hanuman, even at this point, when he comes into the court for the first time, when he sees Ravan, now he has seen Ravan once before, the previous night. When Ravan was searching for Sita in the various palaces, then he saw Ravan asleep. But that was Ravan on bed. Now when he saw Ravan in the palace, in his royal opulence, Hanuman's first thought was, he's such a powerful person. He's such a powerful personality. If only he had been virtuous, he would have been a protector of even the gods. Just by one glance, like if there's one fighter is trained enough to understand who is a good fighter, who is powerful. So Hanuman immediately says Ravan is extremely powerful. But if he would have been a protector of the gods, he is more powerful than the gods, than the Devatas, but he would have been a protector. So later on, what he speaks can sometimes seem to be just audacious. It's just provoking more. But his point is not just to provoke. His point is to try to transform, to invoke whatever. If there is some little wisdom, there is some little intelligence deep within that person, let's awaken that. So different people need to be spoken to in different ways. So some people, they understand the language of wisdom. But some people only understand the language of power, the language of force. So Hanuman, recognizing this, he says, I am the messenger of Ram. Okay, what is your message? Ravan's commander asks him, he says, I am a messenger. He says, as a messenger, you should offer me a respectful seat before I speak. Now, he says, you are a prisoner. He says, I may be your prisoner, but I am still the messenger of Ram. And if you don't offer me a seat, I will arrange a seat for myself. And then he expands his tail, and his tail itself becomes a seat. And for the first time in his court, Ravan has to look up at someone. He just can't tolerate that. And then his dog, he says, okay, if you're a messenger, why did you give the message? He said, my message was not for you. My message was for Sita. Okay, then He says, why do you disrupt all that? Why do you destroy that? He says, if you're a messenger, you didn't act like a messenger. You destroyed the trees. You destroyed my Vatika, Ashok Vatika. So Hanuman is just playing with Ravana over here to some extent. He says, I'm just a monkey, I was hungry. So, because I was hungry, I jumped on some trees and I took the fruits. And those trees fell down. When those trees fell down, some demons attacked me. I just defended myself. Now, when he speaks this, at one level the explanation is outrageous. But on another level, he just I'm just a monkey, this is what I did. So, he says, you have destroyed my favorite garden. He says, you should be punished. He says, kill him. Now Vibhishan intervenes and says that a messenger should never be killed. Now Ravan doesn't like that interruption. Ravan doesn't like the disruption. But he says, okay, what you are saying is true. So, in the Uttarkand, there is a incident where Kuvera sends, because this is the, Lanka is the kingdom of Kubera and Ravan has stolen it. So, Kubera sends a messenger and Ravana kills that messenger. So now, because that incident is mentioned in the Uttarkand, there are some people who say that Uttarkand is interpolated. They say because here it is said that messenger cannot be killed. And there it is said that that incident happened long ago before. And Vibhishan was also known about it. Messenger had been killed. Therefore, they try to argue that the Uttarkand is interpolated. And there are a few other reasons which are given like that. Well, generally, there is some rationale for that. And the whole point is that while there is a contradiction, here, see, Ravan is not just interested in doing. He is never been constrained by the rules of morality so much. That's how he abducted Sita. But for him, it's a matter of prestige. So at that time, when Kuvera's messenger had come, he just wanted to show his power. I can destroy your messenger also. But here, when Vibhishan says this, so there is a code. He knows that the code has been violated. But he's still reminding him. Maybe he will. Maybe at that time he violated, now he will not. So Ravan's thought is, okay, this Hanuman is Ram's messenger. He says, I will send a message back to Ram. I will send a message to Ram. So if I kill him, there will be no message sent. But I want to send a message to him. So with that thinking, he says, burn his tail. Now why burn his tail specifically? So first of all, for him, it is the tail that has become that crown, that throne that is taller than his. That itself is rankling for him. Another thing he says that if his tail is burnt, then that is like a visible symbol of his defeat, of his humiliation. Like somebody scarred. It's terrible. He says, monkeys are proud of their tails. Yes, we'll burn his tail. He will be humiliated forever. And then with that humiliation, he will go back and Ram will know that he shouldn't mess with me. So that is his thinking. Now when this happens, his tail is being burnt or is planned to be burnt. Now that it's not an easy task. The tail is huge. And they get cloth, they get oil, and his demons start setting it up for burning. Now at this point, Hanuman is ready to tolerate it. See, when we talk about benedictions, these benedictions that they have, like Hanuman had the benediction that the Brahmastra would not be active for very long. Now when exactly that action would end. That was not specified in the vow. So now Hanuman, he didn't know what's going to happen next. So when the tail was being burned, he was again ready to tolerate it. Okay, whatever is the pain, I am going to, this is for the service of the Lord, I will tolerate it. He was absorbed in the remembrance of the Lord. In the Nam Ramayana it is said that Kapivara Santata Samsmrita Rama Tadgati Vigna Dhamsaka Rama. So Kapivara, the best of the monkeys is Hanuman, Santata Samsmrita Rama. He was always, that Lord Ram was constantly being remembered by the Vanaras, by specifically Hanuman. And then Tadgati Vigna Dhamsaka Rama. That in his progress, whatever was the Vigna, what was the obstacle? Dhamsaka. The Lord arranged for the removal of all the obstacles in his path. So Hanuman was ready to have his tail burnt and tolerated. And it's like sometimes, some small children are very afraid of an injection. And, injection, they will get away, you and cry. And the doctor gives some, so they apply some medicine and the skin is a little bit desensitized. And okay, when is the injection? When is the injection? It's over already. Over. So Hanuman is ready to tolerate the pain, and then there's no pain at all. He says, what? They've not lit it till now? Okay, let's wait. He's waiting. And nothing is happening. So now what happens is, because for Ravan it's also a matter of optics. So it takes a lot of time to make his tail surrounded by cloth and make it wet with fuel so that it will be inflammable. So all this time, there are the news is spreading in the city also. And the news goes to Sita also. And then when Sita hears this, now the demons who are reporting it to Sita, the demonesses, they want to discourage her. That person was, he was supposed to be by your side, just see what has happened to him. But Sita hears this, Sita prays. Now Sita has a special relationship with Agni Dev. So it was through Agni that the swap happened. And Sita is actually Vedavati. So she prays to Agni Dev. And she says, if ever I have done anything to please you, if I have any punya, please let Hanuman not be burned by the tail. Let him not feel any pain because of the fire. Now it's interesting, she doesn't ask that, let the fire not get lit only. She says, what she says is, let him not be burned by the fire. Let it not hurt him. So, Sita is herself extremely powerful, but she also is, in her own way, maintaining a little bit discreet profile. If you light the fire already doesn't burn. Hey, what's happening over there? This is something strange. So, in the Mahabharata, when the Pandavas are there in the Draupadi Swayamvar, after Draupadi's hand is won by Arjuna, all the Kshatriyas get angry. And they say, they get angry with Drupada. You invited us here for offering the hand of your daughter in marriage, and now you have given her hand to a Brahmana. You humiliated all of us Kshatriyas. We will teach you a lesson. And then they all start charging towards Drupada. Drupada is a powerful king, but against all the Kshatriyas, he's not prepared. He shrinks back. And at that time, Yudhishthira tells Bhima and Arjuna, he's our father-in-law, we have to protect him now. Arjuna is still in the role of a Brahmana, so he looks around, there is a bow and arrow, he grabs it. Now, Bhima is itching for action. So he looks around and he sees a giant tal tree over there. And his eyes light up with excitement. So his plan is, just go there, you will uproot that tree and then destroy everyone. And now Yudhishthir is the eldest brother, he knows Bhima. So he says, Bhima, if you uproot that tree, everyone will know that you are Bhima. Nobody else can do such a thing. So our cover will be blown. So please use some more ordinary weapon. So Bhima reluctantly agrees. So the point is that Bhima tries to, or Yudhishthira tells Bhima to not blow up their cover, to maintain that cover. So similarly, Sita, the blessing that she asks is, let the fire be lit, but let it not burn or hurt Hanuman. So now Hanuman is tolerating. So we talk about this transcending the world and transforming the world. So here, he's transcending means what? Whatever is happening, it's painful, but by absorption, the Lord, I'll bear it. I'll go beyond it. So he's ready to do that at that point. But while he's ready to do that, he feels there's no burning. What's happening? And then he is just sitting, is gallantly trying to tolerate, and the demons are cheering. And looks, what happened? And he says his tail is on fire, but there is no pain at all. So he's just thinking, he says, this must be the blessing of some higher power. This must be the result of the blessing of Sita. And now, okay, he's just watching it, he's tolerating it, and then an idea strikes him. He says that, hey, I came to, now normally we see Hanuman with a weapon, with a mace. But described, when he comes to Lanka, he travels without any check-in baggage. He travels light. So he doesn't have any weapon with him. So even when he is fighting with the demons, he actually just breaks the gate of the Ashok Vatika and takes a rod and he beats the demons with the rod. So he has no weapons. But he's watching, he says, this tail, it's a burning but not hurting tail. This is a great weapon. Is it? Now his tail is already super long and it's all on fire and there's no pain at all. It's almost like Ravan has handed to Hanuman a gun with unlimited bullets. So Hanuman, now as he is just moving his body, he's ready to tolerate the pain. First he says, there's no pain. Hey, this is a great weapon. And then he starts moving his body. The demons think, he's just burning and he's restless. But he starts moving his body, he realizes that the Brahmastra's spell is also over. And then with one victorious Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, right in front of Ravan and all the demons' eyes, just leaps up and he just goes out of that palace and just jumps out of a nearby building. And now his tail is long, is on fire, it's a burning conflagration. And he sets that building on fire. Now, the commentators in Ramayana have asked that Ravan's Lanka was supposed to be a golden city. Now, gold is remarkably difficult to burn. The gold has a very high melting point. So, how did he burn a golden city? So, that is the point, that this flame was so fierce that normally there are various ways in which you can punish people. Among all forms of, all kinds of death, you can stab a person to death, you can poison a person and kill them. But among all the forms of death, death by burning is the most painful. Because in all other forms of death, in violent death also, generally the pain is localized to one part of the body. There's a sword, it's one part. Poison, it's going through the alimentary canal. But burning means the entire body is being burnt. It's extremely painful. But in Hanuman's case, that meant that this long tail was there, it was all on fire. And he had that weapon with him. So the temperature of that was unbearably high. And he just went on one building and he set it on fire. And then he went to another building and set it on fire. Another building and set it on fire. Now Ravana was shocked. What happened? First, that the prisoner has escaped. That's bad enough. It's like, it's one thing that the prisoner is in a jail and the prisoner, that maybe digs a secret tunnel and goes away and escapes. That's still bad. But the prisoner is in court in front of everyone. From there, the prisoner escapes. That's even more humiliating. So, what Hanuman is doing is that he is also sending a message. Just like Krishna, when he shows the Vishwarupa, Virata Rupa, it is not to change Duryodhana's mind. Duryodhana is already decided. He is bent on war. And when Duryodhana tries to arrest Krishna, Krishna could have avoided that arrest in any way. He didn't have to show his universal form. The point of showing the universal form was, okay, if Duryodhana is not going to listen, at least let the others understand. If they see this power, they will at least have some second thoughts. They will think that maybe we should not mess with this mighty deity. And that's why he goes even to the extent of giving Dhritarashtra vision. Dhritarashtra is also able to see the universal form. But unfortunately, Dhritarashtra is too attached to Duryodhana to listen. So the universal form was shown not so much to Duryodhana, but more for Dhritarashtra. That maybe his heart will change. But the idea is, if you cannot change the mind of the enemy, then try to change the mind of those who are the supporters of the enemy. Then the enemy will become weakened. So Ravana, his mind could be changed, but by escaping from his court and then setting fire to Lanka, it was not just whimsical, short-tempered kind of destruction that Hanuman was doing. His point was, war is going to happen, destruction is unavoidable, but let's try to minimize it. And the way we minimize it is by showing the power of the opposite side. So when he burns Lanka, he just goes from one building to another building, one building to another building. It's just going on. Ravana is shocked first that he has escaped, and then when he hears his burning massacre, it's like generally when a prisoner escapes, the prisoner just runs away so that the police won't catch him. The prisoner doesn't go around the city, isn't it? Goes around the city and wreaking havoc in the city. It's almost like here Hanuman is showing, I have no fear of you. And that is what is going to cause fear in the hearts of the demons. Isn't it? So Hanuman goes around burning Lanka. And as he's burning Lanka, he's glorifying Lord Ram, he's celebrating Jai Shri Ram. And this all is for the purpose of hope, with the hope basically that maybe the war can be avoided. Ravana will come to his senses. Now unfortunately Ravana doesn't come to his senses, but eventually Vibhishan comes over to Ram's side, and Vibhishan also brings in some of the later retellings of the Ramayana, now how many of the critical points in Vibhishan helps Ram and his forces. It is that vital information. It's not just Vibhishan is providing him. There are 4 ministers that come with him. They provide him. So although those 4 people are very close to Vibhishan, still they are going against Ravan. When they leave Vibhishan, when they leave Lanka. So they are persuaded, especially by the exhibition of Hanuman's prowess. There's no chance of winning against him. So Hanuman is in one sense serving multiple purposes. And then finally when he departs from there, he does one last thing. He's burned half of the Lanka and then he stands. He climbs on top of the border wall that is there. The border wall itself is huge. But he is a huge figure on that top of the border wall. And his tail is still burning. And that burning tail he raises above. So that burning tail now becomes like a flag of victory. Like a torch, it's burning. It's a sight that gets seared into the memory of all the residents of Lanka. They see this. On the wall, it's like point of maximum visibility. He's tall, a majestic figure about. There Hanuman roars. He said, I am the least powerful among the monkeys who belong to Ram's army. If you don't return Sita, hundreds of monkeys more powerful than me will come. Saying this, he just jumps off the wall. And as he jumps off the wall, the whole wall crumbles under him. And then he enters into the ocean, and the ocean water extinguishes his tail. And then he jumps up and he flies back. It's not just, his mission is not just successful. It's like a super duper hit successful. He has done far, far more than what was sought from him. And Lord Ram is not a person who would appreciate wanton destruction. But when Hanuman tells about his adventures in Lanka, Lord Ram is so pleased. And he wants to reward Hanuman. You have brought the message of Sita. You have sent a message to Ravan. He wants to reward him. But he says, I am in exile. I have nothing. I have nothing to give you. He says, the only thing I can give you is my embrace. And Hanuman is thinking, this is the abode of the goddess of fortune. This is the supreme fortune. And there, Lord Ram embraces Hanuman. And that is where the Lord, whom Hanuman has always remembered in his heart, Kapibara Santata Samsmita Rama. That Lord whom he has embraced, now that Lord comes close to his heart. So, in the Ramayana, in the description that we have, this is the only time when Ram and Hanuman embrace each other. There are many other times when they come close to each other, they celebrate, and there are times when Ram is carried on Hanuman's shoulders. Now there may be other times which will be described in other epics. With the Valmiki Ramayana, this is the only time. So the point of this saying this is that the Lord embracing someone is itself very rare. And Lord Ram embracing Hanuman is an expression of his immense joy and satisfaction. That joy is not just that Sita has been found. Of course that is a joy. But in finding Sita, Hanuman has done such extraordinary service also. So Hanuman, when he goes into Lanka, this whole dynamic, when something bad is happening, he is ready to tolerate it. But while tolerating it, he doesn't become resentful, he doesn't become hopeless, he doesn't become affronted and insulted. Even when something bad is happening, he's maintaining, okay, I want to serve Lord Ram. And because of that, he's able to tolerate, but while tolerating, when a window of opportunity comes, when a door opens, he's able to grab that opportunity also. So for a devotee, this dynamic of both tolerating, and on one side we tolerate and transcend, on the other side we transform. This dynamic is beautifully illustrated in Hanuman's journey in Lanka. And Srila Prabhupada's mood was also like that. When Prabhupada was in the Lower East Side, and this person David Allen was a person who was young man who was very interested in bhakti. And Prabhupada wrote to Sumati Moraji, his sponsor from India, that he may well become the first American Vaishnava. He said, Swamiji, I want to become your disciple. And then that same David Allen, he just turned against, he took an overdose of drugs, he went against Prabhupada. And he charged toward Prabhupada to attack him. Now, at that time, Prabhupada just had to leave. 3 stories, a long flight, he just had to leave, flee. He just came out and he was on the streets, not knowing where to go. So, now at this point, Prabhupada could easily have said, no, I tried, enough is enough, I'm going back to India. So now when this happened, it's not that Prabhupada expected Krishna to enter in some miraculous way, and Prabhupada was ready to accept it. Okay, this is what has happened. And at the same time, this was happening, Prabhupada saw that, okay, what can I do? How can I serve? So there, the way to serve was just leave that place. So Prabhupada, there are times when Prabhupada was trying to build the temple in Jhansi, the League of Devotees. The whole people who were supporting him turned against him. That's the time Prabhupada said, okay, not much point in fighting. He left from there. Sometimes things are moving in a particular way, Prabhupada just accepted that. But even in that acceptance, Prabhupada is always looking for some opportunity. So he called up, Michael and Mukund, it became Mukund. And he said, this is what happened. Now he couldn't believe this. Prabhupada says, David is dangerous. He said, Michael he is just a small kid. He is not dangerous. Prabhupada says, he's dangerous. He said, this is what has happened. He says, Swami, where are you? He says, I'm calling from a phone booth. Oh, okay. He became a little serious. Okay, I'll arrange something. And then when Prabhupada was there, from there he moved to that house for some time, and then another house, and then finally Prabhupada got his own place in Lower East Side. And there, that's where he started getting more serious people. So there are times when something terrible is happening, Prabhupada just accepted that this is what is happening. But he did not give up his intention, his hope and determination to serve Krishna. And then at the Lower East Side, then new opportunities came up, and the first batch of people who were really serious followers, they came. When Prabhupada was in Juhu, this Mr. N wanted to take the money and not give the land also. And Prabhupada said, if he wants to steal Krishna's land, he says he will have to go over my dead body. That is Prabhupada's determination. But then at the same time, well, that determination was there. It happened that they came and demolished the temple. The devotees somehow managed to protect the deity, but they demolished the temple. And somehow by that, what happened is that Prabhupada said, this is Krishna's plan. So this was just, they thought that these are just a group of strangers and we can just demolish, do their activity. But when people in general came to know that, a temple has been demolished, and just the whole atmosphere at that time in Mumbai changed. And they said, how dare they demolish a temple like this? And then everybody started supporting the devotee. And Prabhupada said, this is actually Krishna's arrangement. Now can you say that demolishing Krishna's temple is Krishna's arrangement? Well, whoever demolished the temple, they had evil intentions. But Prabhupada saw that within this there is Krishna's arrangement. And then he said, this is the time when we can garner public support. Prabhupada said that the devotees, they started transforming it, their particular officers, into like a war room, calling various newspaper journalists and other people, influential people, and telling them about their side of the story. And the whole whole atmosphere changed. And within a short while after that, the opposite party realized that we just can't fight against them. They came and signed the papers by which Prabhupada got the land at that time. So sometimes even to great devotees, be it Hanuman or Prabhupada, sometimes terrible things happen and you just can't do anything about it. At that time, you have to accept that this is happening. And there's a world transcending aspect of devotion. It's accepted by absorption in remembrance of Krishna. But even while that is happening, we look for, okay, what door is opening? What is Krishna? How is Krishna wanting me to serve? And then in the most unlikely of ways, Krishna may open a door. So the very burning rope, the burning tail, what happens with that is that becomes his weapon. That which was supposed to cause him pain was the very thing by which he is able to cause Ravana pain. So it is, in fact, you could say that that particular escapade of Hanuman burning Lanka, it's like the tale of Hanuman's tale. It's the story of Hanuman's tale. And it just destroys Ravana completely. It just demoralizes his forces. And so how Krishna works is often inconceivable. But if we understand in Bhakti, both these aspects are there. World transcending and world transforming. Sometimes when Krishna wants us to transform the world, we think I should transcend. Then that will not work. When Krishna wants us to transcend, we want to transform. And we get frustrated. Why is nothing happening? But if you understand both these aspects are there, and what unifies both of them is our attitude to serve. If I have that service attitude, then dadami buddhi yogam. Krishna will give us the intelligence when to try to transcend and when to try to transform. And that way, through all situations, we'll remain Krishna conscious, we'll move closer to Krishna, and when the opportunity comes, we'll also be able to move others closer to Krishna. We'll be able to change the world to whatever degree Krishna wants and help others also to come closer to Krishna. So I'll summarize what we discussed today. I discussed 3 main points. First was we discussed about bhakti having these 2 aspects, world transcending and world transforming. So bhakti is not just about going toward Krishna. Yes, it is going toward Krishna, but Krishna exists not just at the top in the spiritual world, but Krishna, everything exists within Krishna. So we are also serving Krishna by going to the spiritual world. We are also serving Krishna by acting in this world. And the major part of the session was Hanuman's story in detail. So Hanuman, the symbolism itself is there is his mace and there is folded hands. So both of them convey this idea of transcending and transforming. And then we discussed how in Lanka he manifests both of these at different times. So when he's arrested, he accepts it. When he's being humiliated and paraded across the streets, he accepts it. But even that, he's doing reconnaissance for his Lord. When he is being burnt, he accepts it. And when that burning doesn't hurt him, he taps that opportunity to transform the situation. So, and then we discuss ultimately that if we just maintain this service attitude, that bhajatam priti purvakam, a favorable service attitude, then Krishna will give us buddhi yoga. Krishna will give us the intelligence. Buddhi yoga means the intelligence when to transcend, when to accept the situation as it is, and when to transform. We discuss how Prabhupada did this with great determination and grace. And by his mercy, we also can learn in our own small way to follow in his footsteps. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So we have Jhansi incident where Prabhupada, you could say, transcended. We have the Bombay incident where Prabhupada transformed, kind of, he was sticking to it. But you're saying in our life we have varied situations, and if you have service attitude, then you will know when to transcend and when to transform. But sometimes we don't know if it is because we have Anarthas also in our heart, and our own psychophysical nature that is there. Does that all play into this transcending? Because we have, according to Varnashram, we have our own psychophysical nature. So Brahmanas cannot tolerate what a Kshatriya can tolerate. So
Yes.
so how to decide like whether it is transcend? How we practically apply this?
If we can't practically apply it, we can impractically apply it. What that means is that, see, ultimately it is not that Krishna is a kind of sadistic God. He says, if you don't do my will, you will suffer. And what is my will? I won't tell it to you. I'll make my will so difficult to understand that you will not ever come to know about it. That is not Krishna's mood at all. Krishna on one side, he says that if you don't do my will, you will suffer, you will perish. And what is my will? I won't reveal it to you. So that's not Krishna's mood. Krishna's will is not necessarily like one narrow path. This is the only thing you can do. It's more like a general direction. So when the gopis, for example, cook for Krishna, it's not that every day Krishna sends a message, this is the menu I want today. The gopis, they know Krishna and they want to please him. They say, okay, today I'll cook this for Krishna, today I'll cook this for Krishna. So, and Krishna is pleased. So there is room for individuality and individual expression in doing Krishna's will. So yes, so our psychophysical nature will naturally play a role in how we serve Krishna. And Krishna has not given us our nature to suppress or reject it. There is the aspect of our vasanas, our lust, anger, greed, that definitely has to be restrained and purified. But overall, Krishna wants us to serve according to our nature. And so it is that the Dadami Buddhi Yogam term doesn't necessarily mean that there's some mysterious revelation that will come from within the heart. That can also happen. But it can also be that we get the intelligence to consult someone. It could be a spiritual master, it could be some senior devotees. Or we get the inspiration, maybe I should read this book, hear these classes, and there we get the answer. So it is not that when we say Buddhi Yoga, that means that it's not that I can claim that whatever decision I arrive at, it is God's will for me. It's not that I use that as a justification for not consulting anyone else, for not praying or depending on the Lord. But it is that clarity will come. And sometimes the clarity may come immediately, sometimes it may take a long time. Prabhupada writes in a letter to Sumati Moraji, he says, we are experimenting with different things to see how to attract these Western people to Krishna. So Prabhupada is a pure devotee, but still he is experimenting. Does this work? Does this work? Does this work? So sometimes we try various things and some things work, many don't. And whatever works, we move forward with that. Okay.
I think when Lord Ram was back in Ayodhya, he again embraced Hanumanji and gave him born Shankaracharya.
Yeah, that's why I think that's not mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana. That's in Tulsi Ramayana, somewhere like that. Is it Valmiki Ramayana? I'm not sure. When was this?
When he is again back as a king in Ayodhya, he was made king in Ayodhya.
Nice.
Then he embraces Hanumanji.
That's wonderful. Then we can say that.
Shankar portion.
That's
So
wonderful.
Hanumanji met, Lord Ram met Hanumanji at Kishkinda.
Yeah, Kishkinda for the first time. Hanuman was dressed as a Brahmana and he tried to find out who is this Ram. Sugriva had sent him. So that's nice. So then we can say that Sundarkand embraces the first embrace.
Does Ramayana discuss about how Hanumanji reached Chhattisgarh with mother, Hanumanji's cave
No, he was a part of the Vanara dynasty, and the Vanara capital was Kishkinda. That's how he came.
Kishkinda was a part of Lanka.
No, Kishkinda is in.
Ravan, where Ravan abducted Sita from.
No, that was in Dandakaranya. That's near Nasik.
No,
Kishkin-
he left Dandakaranya, Ram, and Agasthamuni gave him the.
Okay, we can talk about it. See, Dandakaranya is a large place. And the lower side, southern side of Dandakaranya is Tapovan. Tapovan is in Nasik. In that, that is where, so Dandakaranya extends a long distance. And Lord Ram had left Dandakaranya, Dandakavanajana Pavana Rama, it said. So he had come to the lower side. That's where Rudradipa Samsevita Ram, that's where he was there, Jatayu was there. So Tapovan, that's from Tapovan is where he was abducted. Ravana abducted Sita. And from there, southern side, that is where Kishkinda is. That's why when Sita was going, she threw her jewels down, and they came to Sugriva and Hanuman. So that's it. Okay, thank you. Some other time in future. Any last question? Stop. Okay, yes, Mataji.
You mentioned before that when Hanuman was enduring that humiliation of being dragged in parade, his mood was in remembrance of Ram and I'm here to serve Ram. That is not one's natural reaction. One's natural reaction is to either feel bad or defensive or to lash out. So what can we learn from Hanuman's story? That must have been a lifetime preparation to be in that consciousness when
Yeah, so see, there's a natural reaction, and you don't have to suppress that. But it's that natural may not last for that long. As we become practiced in bhakti, then we have certain default reactions, but those default reactions last for lesser time. It's like one of my friends is a firefighter in California. She's telling me that when new firefighters come, so if they see they're called somewhere, they see a huge fire. Just seeing that fire, they panic, they freeze. They're supposed to carry the fire hose, and just the fire hose will slip from their hands. Gandhi vam sramsate hasta. So like that fire hose will slip from their hands. But now when somebody is a seasoned firefighter, then when they see a huge fire, they are also shaken. But all their training and experience that kicks into place and they recover faster. So there is a default reaction. But the whole point of training is that there's a default reaction and there is a desired reaction. So the default reaction will naturally happen. But then from the default to the desired, the journey will be much faster. So that's the whole point of training, and training is basically for that. It's not that default reaction goes away, but from the default to the desired, we come faster. So that's what will happen to us as we keep practicing bhakti and we keep remembering Krishna. The habit of remembering Krishna becomes steadier through our sadhana, and by that the default reaction will be there. But from the default, we'll move toward the desired reaction faster. So should we stop or should we?
One marker. Two questions. Maybe two.
Two questions. One marker. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very impeccable session, Prabhu. Thank you. My question, Prabhu, I have two questions, but I will only ask you one question. Or probably I can merge both questions and ask you.
In two questions.
You can say and.
Okay. My question is, Prabhu, in the time of Ramayana, it was said that the instructions has to be followed the way in which it was given. That's called that you've been respectful to the instructions. Now the Hanumanji's master was a Sugriv, and Hanumanji was sent for the search of goddess Sita, right? So even though we know why he go beyond his instructions and he burned the Lanka, right? The question is that why did still Hanumanji actually overgone the instruction given to him, even though I know that reason that why he wanted to explore the Lanka, he wanted to show the power of Sri Ram, But the question is that even though the instruction was specifically given for him to just go and search for a Sita, so why did he go beyond the instructions, which is again disrespectful of the instructions of the master?
Going against the instructions is a bit of unfair characterization of what Ram. There are 3 levels. There is the instruction, we follow the instruction. Below that is a level where we don't follow the instruction. But a higher level is we understand the intent, the spirit behind the instruction. And then we try to fulfill that. That's called the top level servant. That is a Uttama Sevak. So when, for example, Srila Prabhupada was told by his spiritual master that spread Krishna Bhakti in the Western world. And Prabhupada did that. But in around 1970s, when Prabhupada comes back to India, he says that my Guru Maharaj wanted me to spread Krishna Bhakti in the West. I have done that. Now I want to spread Krishna Bhakti in India. Just as I help fulfill my Guru Maharaj desire, you help me fulfill my desire. Now, was Prabhupada's desire different from his Guru Maharaj desire? No. What Prabhupada observed after going to the West and being in the West, that he realized that while people could be inspired to practice bhakti, but they would need a spiritual foundation in India where they would come and be nourished. And that's why Prabhupada said that it is a part of the same mission, the mission to spiritualize the whole world. But he says India is going to be the foundation for that. So that's why he wanted temples in Vrindavan, in Mayapur, and other places. So it is not going against the instruction, it is understanding the spirit, the intent of the instruction. And the point is that with respect to Hanuman, yes, Lord Ram definitely wanted to know where Sita is. But it's not just to know where Sita is, it's after that he also wants to know how Sita is to be recovered. Isn't it? That's what ultimately he wants. So whether it is by war, if it can be done without war, that's great. So he was not disrespectful. He was seeing the instruction, he was seeing the spirit, the intent behind the instruction. And after fulfilling the literal word of the instruction, he tried to go forward and fulfill the spirit of the instruction also. Okay.
Can I ask you a subsequent question?
Can we talk one-to-one afterwards?
It was very, very nice class. I've seen Hanumanji in a totally differently in this way. So, very nice. I have a question. So, Hanumanji was very, very much capable of bringing Sita back. It's true. So, I heard the reason that Sita Mata didn't want to go with him because she couldn't sit on somebody else's shoulder, and plus she wanted to give credit to Ramji. Is it true? Is it that?
Yeah, that's all right. So she said, initially she said, we can't, you were not carrying me, you were carrying me, but then the demons will attack. Even if you were defending me, he said, I want Lord Ram, Lord to protect him. To be touched by another man. So all those 4 reasons were there. First, the first, second, third, fourth. All 4 he mentions. Yeah. Thank you very much. Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Hari Hari Bol.
If there are few more books left, if somebody wants, they can take the book. Prabhu can sign books.
So this is a book which takes incidents from the Ramayana, wisdom from Ramayana on life and explains those incidents in their practical application.